I've been studying the book of Matthew and I observed that there are two accounts of Jesus feeding the multitude. The details are different. In Matthew 14, Jesus fed 5,000 men and 5 loaves and 2 fishes, and there were 12 baskets of leftover. And the miracle took place in a Jewish region near Galilee. In Matthew 15, we see the second feeding. This time, it was 4,000 men plus women and children. Jesus used 7 loaves and few fishes, and there were 7 baskets of leftover. The miracle happened in a Gentile region. Matthew includes these two accounts intentionally. These two accounts, they show that Jesus deliberately and compassionately satisfies both the Jew and the Gentile, revealing that God's saving work is not limited to one people. But what was Jesus really teaching through that miracle of the bread and the fishes? In Matthew 16:9, Jesus rebuked his disciples for not understanding these miracles. He then warns them about the leaven of the Pharisees and the Sadducees, which he explains as their teaching. Though the Pharisees and the Sadducees had different belief, they shared one thing in common when it comes to Jesus. They united in rejecting him, eventually crucifying him. Their unbelief concerning Jesus as the Messiah was their leaven. The feeding miracle was meant to open their eyes and reveal who Jesus truly is, yet so many of them were slow to understand. Even his disciples struggled in Matthew 16:13. Jesus asked them, "Who do men say that I am?" They still thought that he was one of the prophets until Peter spoke by the revelation of the Spirit. The Pharisees and the Sadducees disagreed with one another, but they agreed in resisting Jesus. So the feeding of the multitude was not just God's provision, it was a sign and revelation that Jesus is the true bread of life. If you read further, you will see Jesus telling the crowd that they followed him not because they understood him, but because they ate bread and they were satisfied. When he began to teach, he started saying that they must eat his flesh and drink his blood. Many of them became confused and offended and even walked away. Then Jesus turned to his disciples and asked them, "Will you also go away?" But they replied that, "Whom are we going to? Only you have the words of life." So the miracle of the bread and the fishes points to Jesus as God's provision to us, points to Jesus as the living bread that came down from heaven, which is Christ. This is the significance of the feeding of the multitude, to point to Jesus as the true bread from heaven.